One has waist yarn that you take out, and in the other one, the one that I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to take out a row of knitting that I did in the heel, or in the foot, in the leg, somewhere in between. Hi everyone, my name is Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 47 of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2020. I had to say that date in my head a lot to make sure I was getting it right. It is a little later at night. It's about just after 7 p.m., which is not my usual time. So if I look tired, it's because I feel tired. I am in my second week back at work after the Christmas break at school, and I have to keep reminding myself that going to work full-time is a full-time job. It takes a lot of energy to be at work every day, mentally, for all of those hours. So if you are still feeling like you just can't get back from the holidays, just remember that it's totally normal. Every single year when the school year starts out, I feel the same way. Like, how have I been doing this this is my 6th year. Like, how have I been doing this? It's exhausting. It truly, truly is. I kind of got myself re-energized by going around real quick and cleaning all the toilets in my house. There you go. It's Toilet Tuesday, and getting some chores done really fast makes me feel accomplished and better. And then I made myself some tea. I'm working through my Plum Deluxe tea subscription. This one's called Cozy Tranquil Dream Herbal Tea, and has a bunch of stuff in it, like a bunch of crazy things: rose hips, orange peel, chamomile, lemongrass, hibiscus, and spearmint in like really big chunks. But it has no caffeine, so it's just good to have something hot and calming, and it's just making me feel ready to do the podcast today. So I'm gonna have a sip of tea. I didn't fill it up very much, so I have to like really tilt it to get a drink. Oh, okay. So let's talk about knitting and crochet. How about that? So, or do you want to know what the weather is like? Because it's really weird. So I am here in North Texas, technically, in the Dallas area, and today it was 73 degrees. And it's January, and it was hot, like sunny and hot. I have our air conditioning on in our bedroom because it was like stifling in there. It was like 72, and it's 69 in here, which is kind of hot. But it's not going to be that way for long. I think there's storms coming in tomorrow. And anyway, our temperatures keep going up and down, ranging like 30 and 40 degrees. And it's just crazy, and it's making everyone feel bad. So can it just stop and be like a perfect, beautiful 60 all the time? Or like be winter? I don't know, just be something. Pick and stop changing. But it is cool enough in the morning to wear knitwear, and sometimes at work, but when I'm moving around and stuff a lot, my shawls are always the first thing to come off. But today I was wearing my Starflake, which it was the mystery knit along from Stephen West this past October. And this is actually my first time, that's not true. I wore it a couple Saturdays ago to a knit group, but this is my first time like wearing it like out all day doing stuff, and I have to say I really like it. I'm not going to put it on for you right now, but it's a really, really big shawl, kind of a interesting shape, kind of got like that star stuff going on right there. So I love it. I knit it out of Madeline Tosh yarn. Let me think. What were the color names? They're like on the tip of my tongue, but I'll have to put them down below, or I'll link. My Ravelry page is always linked in the description box, and you can go there and find this project and find the yarns that I use. So that's what I was wearing today. I do love that in the cooler weather I still get to wear, or I get to wear a lot of my knitwear. That's really, really awesome. Okay, moving along. I have a finished object. Yay, finally. Also, on a side note, I hope you can't hear my washer and dryer because they're both going right now as I try to get chores done while I'm doing other things. But I have a finished object this week, and it is my 2-color playtime shawl, Where's the right side? This thing's pretty reversible, but here's the right side. And here it is. It's all nice and blocked. I wish I had a before, like could have shown you before blocking, because blocking is just an incredible, amazing thing, especially for shawls. You know, it just lets it drop and you can stretch it and really make it just so drapey and beautiful. I love this. So this is one of my designs. It's called Playtime Shawl, and originally it was designed in one color, but I decided it would be fun to see if I could actually use two colors so that I could take two skeins from my stash and make the same thing, because I feel like that's a useful thing. A lot of times you have single skeins of fingering weight yarn in your stash and you need some projects that you can do with them. So what I found out is yes, indeed, you can make the Playtime Shawl in two colors. You can see that I put a stripe of green here in these plain sections and then used the green exclusively for the crisscross sections and green for that bobble border. Doesn't that look so good? This is a single ply yarn. Both of these, let me grab them. I've got them right here. So the green, and this is how much I had left over of the green, a lot. I haven't weighed it, but it's a lot. And that color is, that is Chasing Rabbits Fiber Company, and that color is olivine. But here is the issue. My other one, that was the main color. I only have this much left. This is Ching Fiber in the colorway Denim. Now, I actually had to stop short. There are two sizes in the Playtime Shawl, and this is the smaller size. So the smaller size has only 3 crisscross sections. I had wanted to make the larger size, which would basically have another whole repeat of this, which is a lot, especially as the shawl gets wider and the stitches, there's more stitches. So I was careful I didn't want to play yarn chicken, so I weighed my yarn. And I saw how much yarn it took to do that, like this is 4 rows. That's a lot of stuff in my lap. Here we go. I saw how much yarn it took for me to do basically this, 2 rows, these 2 rows. And then I did some math. You know, if I had to do 2 rows, I had to do, whatever. I figured out how much I would need to do that next section, and I did not have enough of this. So even though I've got a ton of this color left over, it looks like that if you want to use 2 colors and if you space yours out the way that I have, you will only be able to make the small size, which is not a bad thing. It's still fine. There are 2 sizes as written in the pattern. But just so you know, if you stripe them out even like I did, then you can only make the small size. So I don't know, I think I might have to go back at some point and see if I can do things a little differently, like maybe make this row also green. I don't know. I really like how this looks, like visually. I think it looks so pretty. And this is actually a gift. It's a Christmas gift, which I'm way behind on finishing, but luckily I haven't seen that person to exchange Christmas gifts yet. I'm gonna see them on Thursday, so I will be able to give them their gift. Hopefully they're not watching this before I see them on Thursday, because it will be in the afternoon. But I'm sure they have seen this already. They just didn't know it was for them. Or maybe they knew, I don't know. But I kept all my little swatches that I did. I guess I did use up some of the blue yarn in doing swatches. That was my one of my other color choices. I can get rid of these now. What do you guys do with swatches? I don't really, unless it's for a design, I don't really keep them like past the time I finish the project. Here's the other one. You know, I think I did weigh these to see if they would be enough if I took them out, and it still wasn't going to be enough. And here's the first part where I started and I kept messing up my own pattern, and so I just cut it and started over. So I won't need any of that anymore, but I probably will hang on to these guys if I need to use some single ply to test out another pattern. So there you go, a finished object, first finished object of the year actually. Is that true? Yeah, I think so. First finished object of 2020, my 2-tone Playtime Shawl. And probably after I get past this next pattern release, I will try to get some notes or maybe even an updated pattern out to you via Ravelry. So if you are interested in doing that, or making one like that, I will have all that information for you there. Okay, let's move along into whips. I have been working on my January socks. I have one actually sort of off the needles. It's not done yet. So let me explain. Here is my first sock. It kind of looks like a mitten actually. So I am using this yarn from Regia. I still don't know how to say it, Regia or Regia, and it is their Perfect brand or line, and it's Arne and Carlos. So it's got this really fun self-striping, but it's already all connected, like the cuff section and the heel section and the toe section. So I've fudged things a little bit, and I actually recorded some video of me doing this, so I'm going to try to explain it and add the video in as it makes sense. But basically what I've done here, I did my cuff. I stopped cuff knitting short of the white because it was just way too long. And then all of this is supposed to be leg. What I've done here and where I've made a toe is actually supposed to be the heel yarn. So all of this would have been leg, which for some people would be totally fine, but for me, that is just way too long. So I had an idea in my head that if I had, once I finished the cuff, once I finished the patterning for the leg, if I had enough of the leg to actually turn into a foot, like cut in an afterthought heel and still have something for my leg, then I would just go ahead and make a toe, finish it off, and save some yarn for the heel. So that's what ended up happening. So once I got to this point here, which was supposed to be the heel, I counted back to see if I had enough for my foot. So that's what this marker is right here. That's where I need to put in a heel. So as you can see, it's gonna be a really, really short little leg, because imagine the heel right here, and then all this is foot and toe, and then this is the tiny little leg. So yes, it's gonna be really short, but I actually prefer that to it being this long of a leg. Like, I will just never wear that, and so I didn't want to make it that way. So this is what I did with the yarn. You can see it's quite deflated now. So I needed to get to the next sock in order to replicate this, and I also needed to save some yarn for my heel. So this is what I did. I knew that after I finished the toe, I started winding up the yarn. I needed to wind through all of the yarn that was basically going to be the foot yarn. And so I just made a little ball of that, and I'm just going to save that, probably put it in my granny stripe blanket or something. That's a good ball of yarn, but I don't need it for this sock. So next I got to what is supposed to be the toe yarn, and that is just plain old white. So I actually cut my yarn there and then just started winding the white, because I'm going to save that for the afterthought heel. And after I got all of that done, I just snipped it and I tucked it inside of the sock, so I know that I have it saved for when I need to cut in the heel on this sock. After that, I got to that yellow divider line of yarn. What? Line of yarn? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I got to the yellow divider, so I went through that and cut it, and then finally I was able to cast on my second sock. So that's what I have here. I literally did 2 stitches earlier and didn't finish that half of the row. So I've started the second sock. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, basically work what is supposed to be a leg and then make a toe, and then I will later go back and with the white yarn cut in and do an afterthought heel. Now, I have never done a true afterthought heel, which a true afterthought heel means you're actually cutting into something that you've knitted. Whereas the afterthought heel that I show in my tutorial and that I've done before, you plan ahead. So you knit some waste yarn in. They're pretty much the same concept, except that one has waste yarn that you take out, and in the other one, the one that I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to take out a row of knitting that I did in the heel, or in the foot, in the leg, somewhere in between. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to try it. It'll be fine. I'm not worried about it, but it will be definitely interesting to try that out. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So now I am working through cuff white yarn, and then next I will get that leg yarn, which I'm technically turning into a foot, and then I'll have another ball just like this that I can keep for a blanket or, you know, give to somebody lost my label, and I'll have another ball like this that I can use for the afterthought heel. So I talked about last week that this is probably the last time that I will buy the Perfect yarn. It just doesn't quite work right for me. There's so many other things I could have done though. I could have, what I should have done honestly is only knit the cuff for 20 rounds like I'm used to, and then cut out the rest of the white and continued on to the patterning yarn. That would have made this just a little bit more manageable. I think it would have taken out about an inch at least. And I could have stopped and put a heel in at any point in the leg as well. But I don't know, when you have this self-patterning yarn, you kind of want it to do what it's supposed to do, and you want it to work for you, and it just doesn't work for me, and that's totally fine. I love it. I'm still going to use it and get some wear out of those socks. So that's why I'm making them shorties so that they work for me. Okay, my next whip is my granny stripe blanket, and I haven't quite done a week's worth on this yet. Not that matters at all, but basically I haven't done my work today on it yet. So this is my Make 30 for 30 project, which if you haven't heard of it yet, it's a super informal make along that I'm hosting on Instagram, where basically you find a whip or start a new project. It can be knit, crochet, it doesn't matter. Some people are doing yoga. Something that you're gonna work on every day for 30 days. Something that you're gonna work on for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. There you go. We started on January 7th maybe, and we're going until February 3rd. That doesn't sound right. I will find the right dates and put them at the bottom. But we have been going for just over a week now, so hop in and join anytime. But this is my project for Make 30 for 30. And since last week, I have done a bit of work on it. So I was right here, my cute little Luna Lovegood marker from Simply Serving. I love that one. So yeah, I've done a few stripes there, and I'm excited to do, oh, I think I'm adding in, oh yeah, I am. I'm adding in another color. It's hard to see, that's actually a different color. There's two already there and then this one. So I'm adding that color in, so I'm happy I can probably finish up that color today because I've only gone part of the way across here. And I'm holding this doubled. This thing is huge. Last night instead of knitting on it in my couch down in my yarn room, I actually took it upstairs to the couch where we watch TV. And so I was sitting with my legs out. So I thought I'll lay this blanket out and see how wide it is. It's huge. No wonder it's taking me so long to go across these rows. This is a big old blanket. So in a week's time, I have made, well, I guess I measured from Sunday to Sunday instead of Tuesday to Tuesday, like for my podcasting days, but I have made about 3 inches of progress. So, hey, that's 3 inches more than I was gonna do. But I'm gonna go ahead and move my Luna marker up so we can see how much I can do between this Tuesday and next Tuesday. But I'm also keeping this little, I think this one's also from Simply Serving, the first one I ever got from her. That one is staying in there. That's where I started at the beginning on day 1. So that one's gonna stay in there the whole entire time. So I can see how much progress I make just working on it for 30 minutes a day. So love working on this every day. Can't wait to get to it here in just a little bit. Okay, I think that is all of my whips right now. I don't have much going on. I have a design that I haven't touched in a little while, but that's like all I've been working on. I finished my shawl, I've been doing my socks, and I've been doing my blanket. So I need something else to work on. So this week I've actually been swatching. Well, I swatched one thing and I totally left it upstairs. Dang it, should I go get it? I wish Toaster could fetch things for me. That would make things a lot easier. But yeah, I'll go get it. I'll be right back. Okay, I went and grabbed my swatch. So basically, I've been trying to find another project to start on, and I think that I want to do a sweater. But then I was scrolling through Instagram, or maybe I was watching stories, and I saw this super cute crocheted sweater dress. It's called the Moss Sweater Dress, I think, or just Moss Sweater by Miss Jess Chica, I think is how you say it. So I thought, you know what? I'll throw my yarn on the floor. Hold on. I thought, I don't know if I want to make a dress or if I'd wear a dress, but I think I'm going to swatch for it and just see. So here's my little swatch. Now, if you started watching my podcast last January, there was a sweater I was making with this yarn. It's Suburban Stitcher, and I can't remember the colorway off the top of my head. It's hiding. Oh, here it is. There's a couple skeins that are still not wound. So Suburban Stitcher, and the colorway is Cinder. But I got 6 of these at DFW Fiberfest 2 years ago because I was going to make the Canyon cardigan by Devin Ventre. And I did start it, and I worked on it, and for a year I would like work on it and then not, and then work on it and then not. So finally last year I just decided to rip it out, keep the yarn, and I figured I'll find something else that I want to do with it. So I haven't had anything yet, but I think this could be it. This sweater dress is so cute, you guys, and it's fingering weight, and I have exactly the amount of yarn that I would need. So this is my little swatch. This is my first time doing crocheted moss stitch. I think it's also called linen stitch or granite stitch, but it just makes this really great texture. I know that when I'm making a dress, it's going to be a little heavier, so it'll probably stretch out a little bit. I'll have to wear something underneath it, but it's probably going to be one of those where you'd wear like leggings and like a shirt underneath it anyway, so I should be totally fine. But look at my swatch, it's kind of doing like almost like the stockinette twist there, which is interesting. And it also doesn't seem to be totally square. It seems to be more like parallelogram-ish. And I don't know, I don't think I'm missing any stitches. I think that's just, I was really loose to start and then kind of got into the stitch. So I have a ways to go before I'm ready to actually start the dress, or I don't even know if I will. I'm just having fun here. But one night I just decided to kind of see if it would even work, and I really like it. So maybe sometime in the future I will cast on a really cute sweater dress. It seems pretty simple. It's made in panels, which is like, panels, but it really is good for something that big because then it's gonna have seams, and seams will give it structure. So yep, I used an E-hook to do this, a 3.5 millimeter, so pretty cool. So that was one thing I was kind of playing with, not too sure to make a decision on it yet. But what I think I'm actually going to cast on is a knit top, a short sleeve one that you've probably heard of. It's by, I don't know, this girl, Caitlin Hunter, if you've heard of her. I would love to make the Tanya. It's a really cute short sleeve top, oversized with lace on the bottom. And I bought this yarn in, not Seattle. Where did I buy this yarn? I remember being in the shop, and I think it had B in the name. It was such a cute shop, and it was in Oregon, maybe? I think it was on the trip that I also went to Seattle, but I think it was in Oregon, and I got this spun right round. That's the only time I've ever seen it in person, so I wanted to get it. And I just loved this color. It is so pretty. So it's called Dusty Roses, by the way. Sorry. So I think that what I'm actually gonna do is not start on that sweater dress right now. I am gonna cast on a Tanya and try to get through some of the lace and stuff, so then I have just some easy stockinette knitting. Now, my sweater rate is like 2 per year, so I can't make any promises, but it sounds really exciting right now, so I'm just gonna roll with it. So I already brought my winder and my Swift upstairs by the couch, where I will be hanging out hopefully in just a few minutes, well, more than a few, but later tonight I will be hanging out there and I can go ahead and get this wound up. I will definitely be alternating. As you can see, there is some variation in these two, but if I alternate, you won't even be able to tell the difference here. So, maybe that's a good time for me to try helical knitting because I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna need your help, Rebecca, because I don't remember what you told me, or I can do some research on my own. I'll have to figure that out, but I think this is gonna be something that's coming soon. Oh, I need to swatch first. So yeah, I'm gonna swatch and then maybe I'll cast on and learn how to do helical knitting, but Tanya, coming potentially soon to a podcast near you. I don't know if you can hear that, but my dryer or washer is singing. It sings when it's done. Okay, let's go into the Ask Me section. I'm going to answer some questions that that are on Ravelry in the Love and Stitches Ravelry group under the Ask Me thread. Now, there are more questions there that I'm going to answer today, which makes me so excited because I already know I'm going to have questions to answer for next week. So keep them coming. It keeps things interesting, and I have more stuff to talk about. So the first one is actually not from Ravelry. This was a question on YouTube. So I don't actually have it to read because I forgot where it was, but as soon as somebody asked it, I put it in a note in my phone so I wouldn't forget to answer it. And this question is from, I don't know how you say it, maybe Frock. That would be a phonetic way to say it in English, but I'm not sure how to say that exactly. So forgive me if I'm not saying it right, but basically the question was about where I get my ideas for kind of scheduling out cleaning. So I talk on my Instagram pretty often about having a Toilet Tuesday, which is the day that I clean my toilets. I only clean the toilets, not the whole bathroom, just the toilets. And it's really quick for me. Each toilet takes me like 3 to 4 minutes. I have the supplies in the bathroom like ready to go. So where did that all come from? How did I come up with that? That is a really good question. So when I got married 2.5 years ago, we moved into a house that had 3 bathrooms. We have 3 bathrooms now, but it was more than I've ever had to manage, and I was not doing a great job. And my mom actually recommended this book to me. That's not true. She was reading it. She had borrowed it from the library, and I saw it when I went home over vacation to visit her, and it was this book. Now, just looking at the cover, you can tell this is a dated book. It's called Sync Reflections by Marla Silly, I think, and she is the Fly Lady. Now, this book is 1000% dated, but the content in here is so good. This is where I first started to set up different systems, have different days of the week, have daily chores. I got all of that from the Fly Lady system. Now, I don't do everything exactly according to this. Since then, like, this is the original, so grab it at your library, or I actually went ahead and ordered myself a copy because I knew I would want to read it all, and I'm almost done. I've been reading a chapter a week. I started doing that, I don't know, a year ago, and then I stopped. So I actually haven't finished it yet. But once I'm done, I'm gonna go back to the beginning and read it again. I don't read it at night. This is something that I actually like to read when I take a bath. So I have so many things I used to do. I used to take a bath every Friday evening. It was like a nice way to relax, and I would read one chapter of this. So it was very slow going, so I could digest it all and figure out how I wanted to do it. But that's really where things started. Now, since then, I have found a lot of other resources. Jordan Page from Fun, Cheaper, Free is one of the most recent ones that I really love. There are also tons of blogs and different things out there, but I think it's good if you can find one person or system and go with that for a little while. You don't have to follow everything they do or everything they say. Just kind of figure out what works for you. Somebody else that I like, it's a podcast. What is it called? I haven't listened to it in a little while. Clutter Free Academy, Kathy Lipp. She is also awesome. She's got short little podcasts, audio podcasts, 15 minutes every week. I don't know why I stopped listening to those. I wonder if I somehow got unsubscribed when I switched something, but I need to get back into that. So those are a few places you can go to find those different resources. But if you like Sync Reflections, you can go on YouTube and type in Fly Lady System. And there are all sorts of people. They're not the original woman, but people who have tried the Fly Lady system and have had massive success, and they talk all about it, and it's really, really interesting. So if you're looking for some kind of system, I would start there and see what you can find. Just go on YouTube today. You can pause this now and go look, because that is so important to have all those routines in your life. Again, take only what works for you, and you can make variations. I certainly have. I know that a lot of you replied back or commented on last week's video when I asked if you would like to see how I schedule out my week, if you would be interested in that. And I've also had some some DMs and stuff on Instagram. So it seems like you guys would be interested in seeing kind of like my schedule for the week. And that would not just be chores, but other stuff as well. How I manage to have a full-time job and work in all the different stuff for Love and Stitches. So I think that's going to be coming soon. Not quite yet, but it's definitely down the line. So I saw that and I have it noted. Okay, let's move on to another question. This one is from Craftnut225, which is my friend Heather. Hi, Heather. She wanted to know how Toaster got adopted and if we have plans for any other dogs. Actually, wait, I can read her actual question here. Sorry, Heather. Let me go find that. Where is it? There we go. She says, Natalie, you know I love Toaster. Can you tell us when he came into your lives, how old he is, and if you adopted him from a shelter? Any plans for another dog, Heather? Okay, I really wanted Kent, my husband, to come answer this question with me, but he definitely didn't seem like he was interested, so I am here to answer it alone. The reason I wanted Kent to come answer is because Toaster is Kent's dog, or was Kent's dog originally. He got Toaster when we were not dating, and so I started dating him again after he got Toaster. So yeah, so Toaster is special for a lot of reasons, but Kent is actually the one who got Toaster first. So Toaster first, then me. But Toaster was adopted from the SPCA, is that what it is? So he is a rescue. He was a puppy when Kent adopted him, and I know Kent said he had been looking around at different places for dogs, and when he saw Toaster, he just fell in love with him. But Toaster they weren't sure if he was going to be sick or not, so they wouldn't let Kent take him on that day. They told him to wait about 3 days and then come back and see if he could adopt Toaster. So he waited the 3 days and went back, and Toaster was no longer sick. He was healthy, and so he was able to adopt him. Fun fact, Toaster's name before we got him was Darren. I think it was Darren. So yeah, Kent changed that real fast. He did name him Toaster after the Brave Little Toaster, which is a children's movie and book. So he's not so brave, but he's named after the Brave Little Toaster. And I think that was a name that Kent had thought of well before he even adopted a dog. It was a name he just wanted to name a dog for a long time. So yeah, that's how Toaster came into Kent's life. Toaster came into my life because I started to date Kent. And Toaster was not a good puppy. I think that if we were to get a puppy now in current time, we would do a lot more to train a dog. We just didn't know. But I did get to meet Toaster, but he wasn't a puppy anymore. He was probably 6 months old, I think, when I met him. So he was like a puppy, but not like a little puppy. And he was bad. He would bite my hands and stuff, and just didn't know what to do. So at first, I actually didn't really like Toaster that much, but as you can see, he has grown on me, and I love him so much. So he is I think he turned 4 years old in September. I should know that, shouldn't I? He's kind of like my child. I should probably know his birthday. But I think 4 years old in September. So he's pretty young, but he's not a puppy anymore. And do we have plans to get another dog? No. I like having just one dog. When we have to watch my mother-in-law's dog, it's too much for me. 2 dogs is too many for me. They are playing, they're rowdy, they make it smell, it already smells like dog in our house, I know it does, but I don't want it to smell more like dog. And 2 dogs on my couch is too many. 1 dog is plenty. That dog takes up my whole bed. No, 1 dog is fine. But we do kind of pretend and talk about getting a puppy because come on, puppies are so cute. I don't know how Toaster would be with the puppy. He would have to be fine because we would love the puppy. But I don't know. Oh, I think he's gonna start barking. Toaster, come here, buddy. He knows we're talking about him. We as in you and me. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a puppy anytime soon. I think 2 dogs is too many for us, for me, honestly. And he's perfect. I just want him forever. Okay, I have one more question. And this one is from Yuli B. Knit, who is Juliana, and she says, "Hey Natalie, I love watching your podcast every week. I have 2 questions for you. 1, can you explain the difference between 2-ply and 3-ply? I have seen both of them as fingering weight. Can you use them together?" Okay, let's do that one first. I should have pulled something so I can show you. Okay, I don't think I actually have a 3-ply. Maybe. Okay, basically what all a ply is how many small strands of yarn make up your big strand of yarn. That's it. And you can tell how many plies something has if you kind of take the yarn, you kind of take a little piece, such a bad example, and you kind of untwist it and push together. That's really bad. Can you see that at all? What am I doing here? You untwist it and push together. So this actually has 2 plies. There, can you see that? That's a 2-ply fingering weight yarn. It's made up of 2 plies or 2 smaller strands. Most like hand-dyed fingering weight that's gonna be for socks, like that 75 superwash merino nylon, is actually gonna be 4 plies, I believe. So let me see, I just grabbed one right here. This one's from Hooker's Corner. Untwist, push together, and these are very small. Let's see. How many is that? Oh, actually, I think that's 3. No, it's 4. 4. So these are very small. I'm not really going to be able to show them to you. I'm sorry. That's hard to do. There's actually 4 there. So you can kind of untwist them, push it together, and you can count those. So that's 4. Could you use those 2 together? Besides these not really being colors that go together, can you use them together? Absolutely. It's personal preference, 100%. Some people cannot stand to put different plies together. I'm one of those people. It depends on what it is. And I think more the look of something than really how many plies it had. So like to me, these look different because I can see the bumps in that, and this is very smooth. This has nylon, this has no nylon, this is just merino wool. To me, they look different. The light catches them differently. I personally wouldn't use them together, but guess what? Once you knit it, you really can't tell that much, so it will be totally fine. So 100% up to you, but when I pick yarns to go together, I usually try to get things that are the same ply, but also the same base. Like if one's 75% merino, 25% nylon, I want the other to be the same. They can be different yarn brands, I don't care, but I want them to be similar as possible. So I don't know if I have a 3-ply here. This is another one. It doesn't say on here. Let's see. This might also be a 4. So a lot of times a 3-ply is a sport weight. Oh, that's 3. We found 3. Sorry if I'm shouting. 3. I'm not going to be able to show you this. I'm so sorry. But again, just untwist. Nope, it's 4. So in my experience, fingering weight is typically 2 or 4, or even a single ply. So only 1 ply, 1 twist in there. 3 plies are typically sport weight, so you might want to check on that and make sure it's not a sport weight. I totally believe that there are 3-ply fingering weights, so the best thing is to, if you want to use them together, knit them together in a swatch, just do like stripes or something and see if you notice like a textural difference, like one looks bulkier than the other. If they look different, don't use them together. If they look the same, then you're totally fine. Even just like a teensy little swatch will tell you that. So yes, you can use them together. Would I? Probably not, but that's just because that's how it is in my brain. It needs to be different. I don't know. Totally up to you. Okay, The second question was, would you recommend using yarns of different fiber combinations? Oh, you did ask that. Great. For example, if I want to knit a 3-skein shawl, could I use the following yarns together? 80-20 superwash merino and cashmere. The second one is 80-20 superwash and nylon, and the third is 80-20 superwash, probably just merino. Okay, that's a really good question. I just said that I probably would not do that, but in your case where they're all 80-20s, that would probably be totally fine. Again, put them together and see what they look like. Does the one that has nylon in it look like shinier and slicker than the ones that are just merino? Just see what they look like. And again, if you knit them together, even in the tiniest little swatch, you'll be able to tell if they're gonna look different when they're actually knitted. Just based off of what you said here, I think they probably would be fine, especially in a shawl. But definitely check to make sure that they're the same weight, if they're all fingering weight, because that could be an issue. But yeah, I think that should be fine to use together. It's all personal preference. Basically, you can do anything you want because it's knitting, but give it a little tester first and see if you like it. Okay, I think that's all of the questions. Perfect. Okay, so let's go into some news here. I'm checking the time. Oh, I said I was going to be done and showered by 8, and I have 10 minutes to do that. Probably not going to happen, huh? That's okay. I don't have very much news today, so let's speed on through it. So I have a new pattern coming out on Friday, and that is Architectura. So I did show this a lot last week, and I now have a love letter video out where you can hear all about this shawl. It's a triangular shawl with mosaic and brioche knitting, and I will leave you to go watch that love letter video if you are interested in hearing more. The yarn is Chili Knits yarn, and you can go see a sample of this shawl knit in different colors, but so beautiful, at the Chili Knits booth at in New York at Vogue Knitting Live this weekend. If you're there, I'm so jealous. Take lots of pictures and use a hashtag so I can go live vicariously on Instagram through you. But the love letter video is already out. I decided to try something different this time. Instead of having the love letter video come out the day the pattern releases, I've set it out early. And I've gone ahead and put a coupon code in there. Coupon code in there, and it's right at the beginning this time. So you don't have to watch it all the way to the middle or wherever to try to search for the coupon code. It's right there in the beginning. Go ahead and write it down, put it in your phone so that you can use it on Friday if you're interested in purchasing the pattern on Ravelry or Etsy. What else? Yeah, I'm trying it. I'm gonna see how it goes. So maybe it'll be great because everyone can get all the details before the day of the pattern release. So I'm just gonna see it and try and see if you guys like it that way or not. Yeah, we'll see. Nobody said anything so far that they didn't like it that way, but I'll make sure to link the video, the love letter video below, so that you can go watch that and learn all about Architectura. Also continuing on is the Make 30 for 30, which is the unofficial make along, knit along, crochet along that you pick one project and work on it for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. There are no rules for this, so if you want to work on multiple projects, if you want to do something that's not even knitting or crocheting, people have been spinning, cross-stitching, like I said, doing yoga, so many things. Make sure that you use the hashtag and tag me if you're using stories, because I love to see everything that you guys are working on. There are no rules, so there are no prizes. It's just a personal glory kind of a make along to just motivate and connect you with other people so you can see what other people are working on. It's been really, really fun. There is a Ravelry group, or there's a thread in my Ravelry group, Love and Stitches, called Make 30 for 30 if you want to go in there and chat and show us what you're working on. Okay, life. Honestly, not much is going on. Just back to work, feeling tired, trying to stay motivated. That's really all that's going on this week. Honestly, my brain is kind of dead. I can't really think of anything else that has happened. I'm trying to think. And nothing really going forward. I mean, you know, we're doing the regular life stuff. Kent's going to hockey games. I'm knitting with people. I don't know, just regular life stuff. Nothing too crazy going on, which is nice since work is so busy and getting back into work is taking a toll on me. And then let's talk about what's bringing me joy this week. What is bringing me joy already, even though I haven't started it yet, is picking out a new project to cast on. There is nothing like that feeling of starting a new project. Honestly, the build up to it, like picking at the yarn and browsing on Ravelry, feels just as good as that brand new cast on. So that's really bringing me joy this week. Hopefully I'll have something, at least a swatch going here tonight, but something else to show you next week for my Tanya. I really can't wait to wind these up. These are so pretty and I cannot wait to work with them. But that is it. I need to go see if I can get ready in 5 minutes back downstairs. I mean, there's nothing that's going on at that time. I just told my husband I would be done and ready before 8 o'clock, but oops, I got a little chatty again, so who can blame me? It's yarn, right? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.